All right, folks, we often have talked about fun activities you can do at home with your young children or grandchildren. Today, we take a look at a few highlights you can take advantage of with your older kids while school is out for the summer. Take a look.
Well, now that the kids are out of school for the summer, it's a great time to begin teaching teenagers life lessons in addition to academics. Here to share more is our great friend of the show, Deborah Porter, a popular Virginia-based life coach. We welcome her back to our live show. It's great to see you, Deborah.
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing really well and glad to see you and glad to talk a little bit about this topic. We really started the conversation early about ways to keep young children engaged, but we have been thinking a lot about ways to keep older kids engaged.
Yes. This is great because we don't really have our high schoolers for long. Those years go by so fast. And we've got to remember that learning is not just an academic exercise. We're learning or should be learning every day. And so April is Financial Literacy Month. And so that would, be a great time or at any time to really help our children and our high schoolers especially with financial literacy. A great way to start with that would be budgeting. What is a budget? And I think that a lot of times we think a budget is a way to keep me from spending my money, which is not true. A budget is to help you know at the end of the month where your money has gone.
Yeah,
And I think
that makes sense, and that's new to so many. It's new to so many adults, but let alone young people. So budgeting is a great conversation to start, and really, if the conversation involves too eventually making their way to college, if that's the post-high school plans, talking about how that works in a real-time budget for them.
Absolutely. And one way to do that, you don't have to show them your entire financial portfolio, but show them the grocery store bill and let them see, what does it cost to feed a family of our size? Are we using coupons? If so, why? And let them see what that looks like. Show them the water bill after that 30-minute shower. Just start making connections for them that things cost and that there is a process that we use as a family about paying our bills and budgeting for things.
One of the things I love to do as a young child, I had a piggy bank, right? And I would shake it out onto the floor and then had the coin wrappers, which are not necessarily easy to come by. I think I've found them on Amazon. But these days anyway, start wrapping up coins. That's something that we've been doing with the girls.
I love that. I love that. And, for our high schoolers, we use our debit cards for everything. When I was in college, we were still writing checks. And so you were balancing your checkbook. But for them, they do need to reconcile their account to avoid those overdraft fees. The overdraft fees can, take this to a whole nother level.
Yeah, remember that moment of panic when you had written another check and you went to put it in this thing called a register and you had skipped one of them?
And you're like, what was that last check for?
Yeah, creating, writing a check, even the logistics of how to write a check, and then certainly what you do with all of that. That's not necessarily an everyday thing that we've been covering up until this point.
Absolutely. And schools aren't able to do it. They've got so much that they're doing. So this, great opportunity to teach them financial literacy. The other thing that I really love is, journaling. I don't think we really talk about that a lot with our kids. We've got some things going on right now in the country and around the world. It would be great to have our kids writing down what they're feeling, what they're experiencing, what they're doing through, this absolutely, different experience we're having to go through with COVID and then the recovery of that. And because here's the thing, they're going to be talking to their children and grandchildren about this at some point. And so for you to be the hero mom, to have this journal that they were writing in during that time to now give back to them. We think about people asking, where were you when 9/11 happened? For our parents, maybe, where were you when JFK was shot? People are going to be talking about this whole experience that we're going through right now. And for our kids to have really had an opportunity to write down with some prompts, today we did, or today I was feeling, or, I'm beginning to wonder about, and just be able to write how they're feeling, just to be able to get their feelings out, I think would be a great thing to do with them right now as well.
I couldn't agree more. And I think not only is history unfolding before our eyes, and that's a way to capture it, it's also a way to categorize it. And as you said, start to address and deal with feelings, communicating. It gives them an outlet. Maybe if they're not verbalizing these things, they can certainly express them in a journal.
Absolutely. And it's just a great way to begin to let them know that your feelings matter. You don't have to bottle it up. There is a way to communicate that. And you're right, for kids that aren't super verbal, to be able to write that out, it can lower their stress and anxiety. And, again, for us as well, this is for kids of any age and parents as well.
So we're going to work on financial literacy. We're going to work on journaling. Any other tips that'll help translate for the older kiddos and the teenagers?
Absolutely. And this one is probably my favorite one. And we can really give this to our older kids as a gift. And it's the gift of autonomy. It's time to start giving our older kids pieces of their life back. Whether they're going to college or out into the workforce, there are moments in time, it's time to retire the lawnmower and the helicopter parent. It's time to retire that. Whether they have questions about their schoolwork, about assignments, if they're now doing online work, whatever's going on, it's time for them to be able to work out and walk out and figure out how to navigate these things in their life. Because once they leave our house, we're not there to kind of manage all of that. And so allowing them to take on those responsibilities, not just in that way, but personal responsibilities, their laundry, cleaning their room, and I mean cleaning, not like moving the pile of dirty clothes from the floor to under the bed. Actually cleaning it. And because here's the thing, they're going to leave us. That's the goal, right? You raise your children to leave. And so there are some real life skills that we want to make sure that they have so that they can have an orderly home. And then the other thing is, what are they contributing to our home, right? We didn't pay, we didn't give our kids allowance for doing chores. You swept the floor and took out the trash and washed the dishes because that was your contribution to the whole. And so this is a great time to just kind of go over those things and have those things in place.
I couldn't agree more. Encouraging the autonomy and really raising the stakes in the study of domestic arts, right, and maintaining yourself. I love the idea of doing the laundry because they can realign satellites with those devices, right? There's no problem there. But pouring the tide in and then pushing the buttons for what cycle we're supposed to be on, hey, that's a good life lesson. It was good talking with you, Deborah.
You too. You too. Always a joy.
Good talking with you. We appreciate all the information, and we'll share more of this information on this topic and more about Deborah Porter's Mom's Mentoring Circle. We'll post a link to all the details on our website by early this afternoon, WTBR.com/VTM. Stay right here. We'll be right back with more.